When I started watching this film, I thought I was going to see a story about an unfaithful husband facing some sort of repercussion for cheating on his wife. And yeah, that's what I got, but what I did not expect was to experience the wildest 20 minutes of my life. This short film is called Last Night, and it's about a hottie who picks up men at bars, but if they go home with her, they will never be able to leave. A man heads to the bar after work, but when he spots a hottie with a red bob sitting all alone, he decides to make a move. So he takes off his wedding ring, approaches her, and the two end up talking for hours. Finally, he decides he wants to go home with her. So he texts his wife saying he's going to be working late, and together they head to Miss Bob's house. And things get hot fast when they get to her place. He's so distracted he doesn't even notice all the red flags all around the house. There are holes and cracks in the wall splattered with blood. There's a lock and chain on the table, a weird painting in her living room, and an even more morbid one hanging over her bed. He's clearly thinking with the wrong head. So get this, they fall asleep after 7 rounds, and he wakes up to an empty bed in the middle of the night. Miss Bob left him a note on the nightstand telling him to find her for an 8th round, and that she'll be somewhere marked with an X. So he's downstairs looking for her when his phone rings from the bedroom upstairs. It's his wife calling, but by the time he gets back to his phone to try and return the call, he can't because someone stole his SIM card. Does this make him leave? Of course not. He goes back on his search for Miss Bob, and eventually he finds the door marked with an X. Despite it being covered in blood, he opens it to find a pile of human bones. And even worse, there's a monster standing behind him, ready to attack. That's when we find out the truth. This was a setup. The monster is Miss Bob's dad, and they've been on the run ever since he ate his wife and son. She's been picking men up from bars so that she can lure them to her home, take their money, and feed them to her dad. Tonight's victim puts up a great fight, but it doesn't take long for him to join all the other victims who've come before him. And it doesn't stop there, because a new day means a new meal. So Miss Bob heads over to a new bar to do it all over again. This man was so trifling because he wasn't just cheating on his wife, he was cheating on his pregnant wife, who'd been trying to reach him all night because she was going into labor while she was home alone with their fucking baby. This film was insane. It was action-packed and so twisted. I loved it, and I think the creator is working on a second part, so I'll definitely be on the lookout for that. It's on YouTube, so everyone go and check it out, show it some love. There are many lessons in this short film, especially around infidelity and the dangers of succumbing to temptation. Had the man just gone home to his wife, he wouldn't have ended up as mincemeat for a monster. This film illustrates how decisions made in moments of weakness can have consequences not just for the person who made them, but for those who care about them as well. At the same time, it's also a lesson on trust, deception, and the power of lust. I like how the color red can symbolize both danger and passion, and in this film, it illustrates just how interwoven the two have become. This man was driven by his own desires, leading him to cheat on his pregnant wife. This pursuit led to dire consequences. In the end, he becomes a victim of deception and violence, and his selfish choices led to his downfall.